His name is Patrick Tolomei. And if you're like me, you did the same thing the first 50 times you saw him. You drove right by him.
My name is Patrick Tolomei. I was a union carpenter, a general contractor. Pretty much anything from the foundation up I could do. I started out as an apprentice, just like anybody else, long time ago it seems now.
We'd see him, we'd say, I wonder what that guy's deal is, I wonder what he's doing, and then we would just keep going.
You know, I know that a sign, you know, it doesn't say much. There's a whole lot more to it than, you know, I got a spinal cord injury.
Kelly and I walked out in the parking lot, and she just started to weep after hearing his story and where he was even just 2 years ago compared to where he's at now. I started to talk to everyone here and say, we have to do something. We have to try to put something together to try to tell this guy's story.
Hi, can I please get 4 junior bacon cheeseburgers? I think he wants a Frosty. Can I also get a medium Frosty? Thank you. We're gonna go see Patrick. Thank you, look, sir. He's gonna come out and get us in a minute.
It was back in '92. I started working with a guy who taught me the ropes just like anybody else. I brought 5, 6 guys from first year apprentices through journeyman. The last job I actually did for the union before I started my own business was Heritage Harbor out on Canal Road. Used to be the old 4-star marina. Things kind of came to an abrupt end with this going on.
I had seen him around town for better part of a year, probably. And I always just drove right on by him. One day I was leaving work, and I got into the truck, and I cranked up some metal, and I rolled the windows down and blasted the speakers, and I head out to where the stoplight's at, and I got a red light. He's sitting there. My right hand goes over to the volume, and I start turning it down, and I'm sitting there just not making eye contact with him. I'm just looking straight ahead. I'm the only one at the intersection at this point. It's me and Patrick. I just said, that's ridiculous, and I put it in park, and I grabbed my wallet, and I got a couple bucks, and I'm like, okay, and I walk across the turn lane. Here you go, buddy. He grabbed my hand, and he looked up, he looked me right in the eye, and he said, thank you, man. And I remember the way he looked at me. I squeezed his hand and I said, you take care of yourself, brother. And I went and I got back in the truck. I turned the music back up. I'm feeling all good about myself. I'm like, yeah, I did a great thing, man. That's awesome. And I get halfway home and I'm like, that was $3. You gave the guy $3.
I had to be at the doctor's, so I called the cab. It was going to be $20, you know, and I was like, man, this is killing me.
For a cab?
Yeah, it's $10 each way.
I loved working when we would walk around the job with the homeowner. You know, I want them to say nothing, but it's beautiful. I expected that out of my guys and out of myself. It's beautiful. It's perfect. I love it, you know, because, you know, I mean, that's my reputation, and, you know, it's their home. I would hope that, you know, they're doing the same thing, you know, that they're going to pass that on to the guys that they teach.
I couldn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling and I thought about shaking his hand, and I decided the next day I was going to go talk to him. So I got up, got in the truck, drove to work, and there he was sitting there, and I drove right past him. And I said, I'm too busy. I got too much work. There's too much to do. I have to go to work. I can't talk to him today. That went on for about 3 weeks. to the point where I started to get really conflicted with it. I started to wander around the parking lot trying to get the balls up to go talk to him, to just go speak to him, and I couldn't do it. And I started praying about it. Show me, am I supposed to do something here? Because I just didn't know. And then about 3 weeks later, I went into Dunkin' Donuts. He came right in behind us. When he was about, 2 feet away from me, I said, well, okay, that's a pretty clear sign I'm supposed to talk to this guy. And for the next hour and 15 minutes, he told his story. He comes up here himself. It takes about 30 minutes. And if it rains, he's got to get somewhere. Well, we were going to go visit Patrick today, but I think this is going to make it kind of difficult. Hope he's covered up somewhere. Everywhere else in town where we've ever seen him sitting, he's pretty much across traffic.
It's 50 degrees out here right now. 50 degrees.
What I do for a living now, I kind of sit out there on that corner. I ask for help, basically, which is a far cry from what I, done in the past for a living. But
one of the things that him and his mom do now is they make this homemade soap.
Make it and then turn around and sell it at some craft shows
All
and
different kinds of, ones, and that I figured out that I'm like big time, small time with it,
He doesn't have any other option than to sit out and ask for help. He makes soap on the side, and he's still taking some of that, and they donate that to pads.
we call it friends and family soap. We do batches, and some of them weren't, quite perfect. They did a job fair out there, and I went there to see if there was, I could actually get a job. Nobody was interested in that at all there. But while I was there, the pad shelter had a booth set up there, and so I talked to the lady about donating the soap there, and she said, yeah, that'd be great, so.
Did you make these specifically for them, or these are extras that you
No,
did
these
cut
were
down?
made specifically for pads.
Okay, so these, remember that.
He
He has what he has, and he has to do what he has to do, and he still is doing something to give back to people in the area. And I think that's inspiring, and I want more people to know that happens. I want people to know that is who Patrick is.
As long as I can remember.
Yeah.
My dad is the president of that.
Okay.
And I'm a member, and like somebody's literally got to die for you to get into that club.
Yeah.
And I finally got in after 20 years, and then this happened. So I kind of can't take part in the benefits, of fishing and hunting. This is me and my dad in Canada. Look at that string of fish. That's just from the morning.
Some good walleye.
Yeah, that's just from a morning run too. That's when we come out for shore lunch.
Yeah.
We ate those. We ate all of them.
He's just a normal guy he's having a hard time right now.
Like I said outside, you know what happens if you do nothing?
Right.
Nothing.
2014, I was losing feeling on the left side of my body. I ended up in the emergency room. They determined that it was a blood mass in my spine. They sent me home. It was getting worse. They said that I needed to get back in there right away. They started hooking up IVs and whatnot, and that's pretty much the last thing I remember. I woke up the next day paralyzed from the chest down. So they removed 4 of my vertebrae and then put them back in. I couldn't sit up. Then I got to the point, I guess, where I could go to physical therapy full time. A whole bunch of people come in and they're like, okay, you're going to get up. You're going to get in this wheelchair. You got 3 hours of physical therapy to do today. Yeah, right. That's what's going to happen. I can't move. They got me up, put me in a wheelchair, and I went to do 3 hours of physical therapy that day, and every day from then on, they put me in a swimming pool. And that's when I noticed that I could move a little bit, and my ankles, are buckling, and my knees buckling, and I was just all out from there. I wanted to do something all the time because I wanted to get up. It's not in the tire, I guess it gets a whole lot bigger. This thing was used like this. They made me some braces. The minute I put those on, I could stand up. And that was just, I was blown away. And my therapists are blown away, and my doctors are blown away, and everybody's just blown away. They don't, if I can stand up, I can walk. I took a step, tried another step, and, almost fell over, stood back up. I walked 10 feet, and then I walked 20 feet, always holding on, walker, railings, I can't walk. It was hope. I went there in an ambulance, and as I'm going through the doors, I remember, I said, I'm gonna walk out of here. That's exactly what I did. I took a wheelchair all the way down to the doors and stood up, used a walker, walked through the doors, got in the truck. 10 weeks before that, I couldn't move at all.
Taco Bell, but I wasn't really bad because I was being quiet, kind of.
I was doing physical therapy at the hospital here in town. Insurance cut that off. Ottawa Township was giving me some help, and as soon as I got disability, they cut that off. I have mortgage, taxes, insurance, just like anybody else. I have electric, gas, water, garbage. It all adds up to more than disability covers. I said, I went to that job fair thing, nobody was interested in that at all. The soap thing, it's not something I could count on a regular basis to cover the cost of life.
In a wheelchair and sit on the corner because they're just too lazy or something to go and work?
That's exactly one of the things I want to have you tell people in the video.
I had no clue that never even crossed my mind.
There's a lot more to working than money. That was who I was. I would never in a million years have imagined myself, sitting on a corner, basically begging for money. But like I said, it's better than doing nothing. And I'm not sitting out there because I want to. Or because I'm lazy. It's a last resort.
I was sitting up there like I usually do. An officer from Ottawa City Police came up and said I had to go. I needed that. I need it bad.
Alrighty, man. Well, let me know if anything changes. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.
All right, AJ.
Alright, take care, bud. They told him that he couldn't be out by asking for money. It kind of changes the whole dynamic of us working on this video for him a little bit. He doesn't want people to just ignore him. And he certainly doesn't want people to think that he's lazy. That's the biggest thing he's told us since we started talking to him. I don't want people to think I'm lazy. I'm here because this is a last resort. I have to do this. I rely on help from other people.
It's embarrassing, frankly. It's humbling. I just like people to know that, it's not a scam. I'd give anything to go back to work.
If we could raise money, it'd be great. If we could raise a lot of money, it'd be even better. If we could help him get a job, that'd be excellent. But the big thing is I hope that we can tell people more about him.
I'm doing this because I have to, and I don't have, any other choice but, to give up, and I'm not gonna do that.
Okay, I think we're good. Nice job.
Okay.
That's it. Nice job.
Saw the world turning in my sheets, and once again I cannot sleep. Walk out the door and up the street.
Thanks a lot.
Look at the stars beneath my feet. Remember rights that I did wrong. So here I go. Hello, hello. There is no place I cannot go. My mind is muddy, but my heart is heavy, does it show? I lose the track that loses me. So here I go. And so I sent some men to fight, and one came back at dead of night. Said he'd seen my enemy, said he looked just like me. So I set out to cut myself, and here I go. I'm screaming at the top of my voice. Give me reason, but don't give me choice, 'cause I'll just make the same mistake again.
Question.
Sure.
I was choking it back. The only reason I didn't start bawling is because the microphone was on, and I was like, "Just shut up. We're taping it."
I wanted to. That's a rough story to hear.
I just hope we can help him.